Ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels, like you're constantly chasing after things you can't control?
It's a pretty common feeling these days.
It really is. So today, we're going deep on something that might help. Stoicism.
Stoicism, ancient wisdom for modern living. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a field guide to navigating, well, life. We're looking at a summary of Epictetus's The Art of Living, and we're going to figure out how this whole philosophy, even though it's old, can still work for us, to find a bit more peace, maybe even some fulfillment.
It's all about practical philosophy, isn't it? I mean, that's what's so great about Stoicism. It's not just like these lofty ideas. It's about actually living a better life.
Totally. And it gives you tools to actually do it, like this whole dichotomy of control idea.
Oh, that's a good one.
At first, it sounds kind of complex, but it's really not, right?
It's really not. It's actually quite simple.
It's about focusing your energy on what you can change and kind of accepting what you can't.
Yeah, exactly. Recognizing that our thoughts, our actions, that's all within our control. But other people's opinions, or when the unexpected happens.
Right, like total turf balls.
Exactly, totally out of our control. Like imagine you're stuck in traffic, classic Stoic example.
The worst.
You can't just, poof, magically teleport your car.
If only.
Right. But you can choose how you're going to react. Are you going to let the frustration eat you alive? Or are you going to accept it, maybe find a way to use that time?
Yeah, so it's not about becoming some kind of emotionless robot, right?
No, not at all.
It's just about hitting the pause button and then choosing how you respond to things.
Exactly. And that leads us to another big takeaway from the text, the power of choice, which basically means we always have a choice in how we react, no matter what's going on.
I love that. It's so empowering. Reminds me of this time I completely missed a flight, a really important one because I overslept. And my first reaction, total panic, frustration. I was blaming everything. The alarm, traffic, you name it. But then I remembered that Stoic idea, focus on what you can control.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it. But I took a deep breath, booked another flight, and actually used that extra time to catch up on work.
So you turned it around. That's Stoicism in action. It wasn't about pretending the whole missed flight thing wasn't annoying. It was more about seeing that you had the power to choose a better way to react.
Totally. And speaking of seemingly impossible ideas, Stoic paradoxes, am I right?
Oh, the paradoxes. Love those.
Because the text says, the only way to escape suffering is to learn to embrace it. Which, okay, on the surface, sounds a little strange.
It definitely does. Why would you want to embrace suffering?
Exactly.
But it's not about, going out and looking for suffering, It's more about changing how we view it. We don't get to decide if we go through hard things, but we do decide how we handle them.
So it's like reframing challenges as opportunities, I guess.
Yeah, opportunities to grow, to learn, to build resilience.
Okay, I can see that.
And this leads us to the really practical stuff. How to actually use Stoicism.
The real world stuff.
Exactly. The text really emphasizes stuff like mindfulness, self-discipline, and gratitude. Things that, even today are super important if you're trying to live a good life.
It's kind of wild how this ancient wisdom still applies. Can you say a little more about how to actually use those practices?
Oh, absolutely. So mindfulness, that's all about being present. Noticing what's going on both inside and out without judging it. Even just taking a few deep breaths before you respond to a stressful email. That's mindfulness.
So simple.
Right. Or instead of wolfing down your lunch, actually tasting each bite. That's mindfulness too.
I've been trying to be more mindful, and honestly, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, it's huge. And then there's gratitude. Taking a little time each day to appreciate the good stuff, big or small. It really helps to shift your perspective.
From I don't have this, to, hey, I have all this other great stuff. Love it. Well, we've covered a lot. The dichotomy of control, the power of choice, those wild Stoic paradoxes. We even talked about how to actually use this stuff in our own lives. So as we're wrapping up this Stoicism deep dive, what's one key takeaway you hope people listening will walk away with?
I think for me, it's this idea from Epictetus about aligning our lives with nature.
Which, in today's world probably means something a little different for everyone.
Exactly. It might be finding more green spaces, maybe simplifying your schedule, or even just taking a minute to notice nature.
Finding your own version of harmony.
Yes, finding your own harmony.
I love that. Well, if today's deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I definitely recommend checking out more about Stoicism. You might just discover a whole new way of looking at life.